I'm starting my own Formula 1 team, and over the course of this new series, I'm going to need your help. But hold up, you're probably already thinking, this is impossible. Where's all this money going to come from? F1 will probably sue you and just won't allow it. Well, today, ladies and gents, we're going to give it a go anyway. We're going to really show you how we're going to go about building out this fictional F1 team to show you the finances, the business side, and the creativity involved of trying to get into F1. So F1, please don't sue me. I'm going to take the money that I've made from YouTube ads, from videos, I'm going to put it straight back into this team that I'm creating, Torqeeza. And I know that my subscribers really enjoy finding out about the business side of Formula 1, so why not get you involved? In each video, I found out what it actually takes to create each element that is required to actually go racing. I then go head to head with other content creators to see who could come out with the best concept, and then we let you, the mighty F1 fan, vote to decide which one is best. Now here's where it gets even better. I'll actually take the winning design and get it made in real life where possible. And there's a huge problem. I don't have a clue what I'm doing with such little financial backing, and I'm winging it, to be honest. Welcome to the Racing House. My name is Saki. Keep watching to see me start my own fictional race team and see how far I get with Challenge 1. I wonder what it could be. For me, it all started with one question. How hard would it be to start an F1 team, and what would be one of the more interesting things to start with? Okay, that's two questions, but the FIA isn't watching just yet. But also, being honest and real, what are the more affordable things, because I'm broke, that will allow me to potentially take the first step along the road to F1, i.e. karting? So I thought, let's get started with creating our own helmets and actually creating a helmet in real life. And that starts with brainstorming. But before we do that, let's make this a little bit more interesting by introducing another content creator to go up against me. So I got in contact with the smoothest voice in the world of F1 YouTube, Ben from BMPH Racing. Cool. So yeah, with you, I would love you to jump on the helmet design challenge. Our followers basically decide which one they want.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. All right, thanks, man.
Catch you later. To get a blank helmet, this can range from about £200 to as much as £2,800. To get a helmet painted, we'll add an additional £200 to £500.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
We'll actually break down the cost into a lot more detail in the second video once you've picked who the winner is. First, we need to look at some designs to inspire us. Let's have a look and see what Ben's come up with.
Now, when coming up with a helmet design, I didn't really know where to start. I mean, I haven't really had any experience with graphic design other than making very basic thumbnails. So, as you probably would have guessed, my first move was to Google the most basic search known to man. Bruh. Now, I spent a good amount of time scouring the internet for different websites that allowed me to create my own designs, and for some reason, I ended up coming across a Scratch game. Nevertheless, I managed to find a great page called Helmade, which allowed me to customize helmet templates. Initially, I just played around with it to see what certain designs look like, before then going on to look at existing helmet designs in Formula 1 currently. I've always been a big fan of Pierre Gasly's helmets. His main one from 2020 included the dark blue and white of AlphaTauri, with a vibrant red covering the center. A personal favourite of mine from last year was the tribute helmets to Senna at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, which included the yellow and green of the Brazilian flag. Like Pierre, I also have a passion for the game of basketball, and really like the Lakers. The iconic purple and gold has always really stood out to me, and so I wanted to include it alongside my channel's blue branding.
So for me, the helmets that have really inspired me in the past are the likes of Sebastian Vettel's helmet and the use of straight lines. I really like one of Antonio Giovinazzi's most recent helmets and the use of colour and the modern approach taken to it. It really does pop in your face. And I quite like Senna's helmet. It's quite simple but very iconic. But I also like the modern approach from people like Daniel Ricciardo. So God knows how this is going to end up working together. But we had a problem which could have stopped me in my tracks. I couldn't find a 3D platform to create my designs on. I found out after the challenge that Ben had used Helmade, but I couldn't find anything at the time, and the ones that I could find just weren't right. I even tried looking on Fiverr, and at this point I was really worrying that I wouldn't actually complete the challenge, and I eventually decided to use a free online editor. With the first design, I took the straight line concept of Senna and I used the teal blue green concept. I really like the different shades of blue, the contrast with the orange and the use of straight lines. But let's have a look at Ben's final draft version.
Now, I started off by making the base purple and the second layer yellow, with the blue and black featuring a lot less. Then I decided to experiment a bit more by making the yellow the base color and removing the black, but pretty much everything else remained the same. And for the final draft, I wanted to make blue the more dominant color and have the purple and gold as subtle as possible. And in my opinion, this one looked the best. Obviously, it might not be for everyone, but I think that the blue, yellow and purple all work really well together.
For my final design, I thought I wanted to do something that meant a little bit more. So I used the colour scheme from the Nigerian flag, my heritage, and combined it with the more modern design concepts that you see from people like Daniel Ricciardo and also Antonio Giovinazzi at recent Grand Prix. One of the Torqeeza main statements is making people feel part of the grid, so I wanted to incorporate that in the design. And then for my final design, I thought, let me just not take a generic pattern with colour. I remember seeing a very unique and different Benetton livery in the past, which actually had very colourful brush strokes on it. I thought, let me develop this a little bit and see what happens, and I'm quite impressed with how it's turned out. But we do need to remember for a second the importance of race helmets and what function they play. So let's throw it back to pre-First World War racing. Only leather helmets were used to protect against dust with the use of goggles. The 1920s and 1930s saw the use of American football helmets or even firefighting helmets, which were still not great. This continued until 1954 when Bell Sport created the first commercially produced racing helmet. Bell is still a major player in this market, producing Bell racing helmets for quite a lot of professional drivers. And they may even be the race helmet that we choose to use if we want to go racing on an actual track. So here we have it, the final draft designs, and we want you to pick the one that you think is better. So don't worry, you won't hurt anyone's feelings by not picking their design. This is pure entertainment, so do not worry.
So why should you vote for my design then? Well, firstly, the color scheme is inspired by a unique and original concept. Secondly, I think that the visor also blends really nicely with the colors on the helmet and will look absolutely fire out on track. And thirdly, adding the purple and gold automatically makes this a winning helmet. I mean, the Lakers are the most successful NBA team of all time, so the stats speak for themselves. So with that, be sure to vote for my design to see just how good it'll look in real life, and thank you for listening to my pitch.
And why should you pick my helmet? Firstly, these kind of colours are rarely seen on the grid. The design has a lot of meaning for me. It's a big shout out to my history and my heritage, incorporating the green and white green of the Nigerian flag. Secondly, it incorporates a modern approach in terms of having more of an artistic element, and it doesn't look like a traditional helmet, which I really wanted to go for. And thirdly, it incorporates an iconic F1 team from the past, Benetton, which had drivers such as Michael Schumacher racing in its cars. It really does stand out as the helmet to pick. So make the right choice, everyone. Thank you. If you think Ben's design is better, comment down below hot lap. If you think my design is better, comment send it. Obviously, I'd love it if you voted for my design. It would really set off these challenge videos in the right direction. And then let me know in the comment section below if we should shell out all that coin to get the winner's helmet made. And if 4-year-old ever can win and make a success of it, we can do a decent job, right? Like I said before, this series of videos is all about exploring the business side, the creative side and the finance side of F1 and the process of trying to make it to F1. For now it's fictional, but we do want to get things made in real life where possible, and then potentially go karting with all the equipment that we get designed and made up. Also, let me know your general thoughts in the comment section below as per usual. Please come along with us on this very crazy journey and let us know what you want. Until next time everyone, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to ensure that you get all my latest videos.